Hi guys, it's Nicole, and today I am sharing a Workspace Wednesday video, pretty much just a get my stuff cleaned up motivation type of thing. I decided to just take out the audio from everything and do a voiceover. I feel like it's going to be a little bit more, I don't know, it's going to be a little easier on the editing end for me, so I figured we can just chat this way, catch up on things, talk about cleaning our messes. This is sort of my starting point. As you can see, this was after I finished the most recent 6x6 paper pad video. I've got Miss Moody Tootie in here with me today, and you always kind of have to do a mood check with her to figure out if I need to kick her out while I clean, and I managed to even get a little belly scratch, so I knew it was probably going to be a good morning. However, she is currently laying on a pile of papers that were in my scrap stash that she came in one day and just puked up spit all over it. And I was like, great, those are yours now. So, but I didn't really have a good game plan as far as how I was going to tackle my mess. All these video clips kind of span about 10 to 12 days. This instance, I am just doing a super quick cleanup. This was a couple days before the weekend. So this is probably around the 4th or 5th of November. I participated in the Pink Fresh big event that they had where they mail you a box of stuff. You have 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, where they were doing live classes on Facebook, and then you could go back and watch the replay if you needed to. I ended up watching the replay on both classes that were in the morning because I'm West Coast time and they were Central time and they were starting pretty early. So my game plan initially was just get things cleaned up to the point that I can participate all weekend and not sort of be struggling and moving piles from other projects, here and there. So I just kind of did a quick vacuum. We get a lot of cat hair in this room because somebody likes to take her bath in here. So I just needed to wipe everything down, kind of do a quick vacuum. Put things away if they had a home. I even had to wipe off somebody's little footprints because I don't know why he can't just keep his feet off my drawers, but I don't know. You might have to have you have to put socks on if you're going to use the desktop. If you are caught up on my videos, you saw this layout in a quick video share that I did showing one of the recipes for the Scraproom. Clearly I'm wearing a different shirt. This is a different day. I think I worked on my room Thursday and Friday leading up to the event. If you're wondering why I have a stack of kids' chapter books, I had asked both of my kids to bring me 1 or 2 books from their favorite series. Pretty much every year for Christmas, the last 4 or 5 years, I go onto Book Outlet and I order 10 to 12 chapter books for them. And I think this year I ordered 22 or 23 books and it cost me around $80 something. They have really good prices, especially on kids' chapter books, usually around $1 to $3. So if your kids are kind of around the same age as me, or even if you're a big reader, I recommend going to Book Outlet and checking it out. Almost every single time I order, I hit the free shipping threshold, and I usually just try to order around this time, if not earlier, to make sure that the box gets here in time for Christmas. I never know, especially because books typically come media mail, and then with all the different shipping issues going on, I wanted to kind of get that done and out of the way. I already got the books back and they all are in amazing condition. They're all new books. A lot of times they get sent to the store. The store doesn't sell all of them. The store ships them back to the publisher or the printer, and then they somehow end up at Book Outlet. 2 of the books that I had actually had Walmart stickers on them, so I just peeled them off. But yeah. So this is, you guys know, this is the desk that I work on. I was making sure that I had everything that I needed to have ready to go for the class. So I got my media mat out, I've got my trimmer, I've got my scoreboard, I printed out the PDF that they sent us that had some homework to do. Initially, I wanted to make sure that I got all the homework done. That didn't happen. I had some stuff come up Friday night. So here's kind of everything laid out. I was lucky enough that Rochelle, the owner of the Scraproom, is local to me, and she had a bunch of the Pink Fresh ink cubes, so she loaned them to me because they're still out of stock. This is part of the aftermath. I, believe it or not, had cleaned up a lot at this point. I had already returned the ink cubes to Rochelle, picked up my December kits, had cleaned up a lot of like the finished projects, and then I had like piles on the floor of the stuff that needed to get put back in its packaging. Moody Tootie is back. She was in an okay mood at this point. I feel like doing anything near her like this is, you're gambling on your fingers at that point. So typically I just kind of keep an eye on her ears. If they are forward, you're good to go. Sideways or airplane mode, back up. But she was nice enough to let me clean around her basket. I think the pigeons on the roof next door that she was talking to were kind of keeping her distracted. And yeah, so this was kind of the area that I was cutting everything, die cutting, like I was bouncing back and forth trying to keep up with the class, which I didn't have to keep up with. It was more of if I could do it while they were talking about it, it just worked out easier to where I didn't have to go and keep reading and referencing to the PDF. Went back over to my work desk and was kind of making a pile of all the things that I needed to take downstairs and clean. So I just grabbed an empty drawer, threw all the dirty stencils, blending brushes, some paint brushes, threw all that in there so that I could take it downstairs to go ahead and wash everything. The class was really fun. Out of like the 4 sets of like supplies that we got, 2 of them I'm for sure going to keep. I think the other 2 I might see if I can sell them. If anybody here is interested, leave me a comment below and I'll send you a message. Just not really my style. One was like a really pretty like wedding birthday themed set. Just not my thing. I enjoyed working with it. I liked the 2 cards that I made. It's just not like a die hard I want to keep it and reuse it set. And then another one I'm still kind of thinking on. It's like a big florally bush. I think it's called Cosmos or something. All the sets that were for the class, my understanding is they are coming out in the next couple months. Like I think some come out next month in January or whatever. So I dragged everything downstairs. Normally, if I only have to wash a couple things, I use my kid's bathroom because it's next door to my office. Sorry, I dropped you guys. And unfortunately, you guys are going to be like super zoomed up into my sink. It was kind of the only angle that I could get in my kitchen with a giant bag of rice holding my tripod. My tripod's not really able to do like downward facing things, so it gets kind of interesting. But I just threw everything in my sink with like an inch of hot water and some Dawn dish soap, and I didn't really have to actually wipe a lot of them. I just kind of, a lot of them came clean just sort of by like mixing them around together. And I also had some other stencils that I had used in recent layouts that were just like desperately needing to be clean. Like my cloud stencil had been used and abused and was ready. I threw them all in like my dish rack to try to kind of keep them separate from each other and somewhat dry. For the brushes, I just take a cleaning rag, a little drop of soap on it, and this is kind of how I clean my makeup brushes too. I just put the rag in my hand and kind of use my hand as like a scrub board. A lot of companies are making these little like silicone pads that you can actually like run the brush over. I might look into getting one of those. Not real sure right now because this worked pretty good. And these brushes were pretty dirty. I mean, I think every class we were blending. So all of them pretty much needed to be cleaned. the following day, I came back upstairs and was like, okay, we gotta get stuff cleaned up, because now that I'm done with that class, I had finished up my like editing that I needed to do for the month for design team type stuff. We have to do a mood check with Gabby. She was being pretty chill today, so this is just me sharing my starting point. Again, I'm not really focusing on like all the random piles of stuff that I have everywhere. If my brain is not ready to deal with that pile, I'm not going to force it. This was more get things off the desks, get things off the floor, get them wiped, get things vacuumed, get things put away, because I want to get back into some other projects. I want to get back into 6x6. I want to get back into creating with collections. I got my December kit from the Scraproom, and I'm like really, really excited. This is my favorite kit all year. I knew what was going to be in it as far as like the themes, and I'm just like chomping at the bit. Like, just, I want to cut into this, but I don't want to do it when my room is at this state, because I know that things will get lost. Things will be all over the place. So I just do kind of like down and dirty, quick cleaning. I went ahead and just put everything from the Pink Fresh class back in the box that they shipped it to me in. For right now, it's working for me to just have everything be in there until I can kind of go back through everything and figure out, is there anything that I want to try to resell? And then kind of figure out storage solution. I don't think I'm going to take anything out of the Pink Fresh packaging. I think I'm just going to leave it in there and see if I have an empty fridge bin. A lot of the Pink Fresh stuff, especially like one set, was pretty tall, so it's not going to fit kind of with my other stamps. And I kind of like the idea of keeping the Pink Fresh stuff separate. Pink Fresh definitely has a specific feel to it, and I know that if I'm thinking about that type of style, I'm just going to go straight to Pink Fresh. I'm not going to want to dig through every other brand that I own. So it just makes sense to me to kind of keep it all together. I feel like all I've done is vacuum and wipe over and over and over again, but I think that signals to my brain that that area is clean. It's kind of like punctuation at the end of a sentence. It's like done, you can move on to the next one. Same thing with like vacuuming. It just kind of feels like, okay, I finished this side of the room. I feel better. Amazon came while I was cleaning, so I can actually print photos now. Just kind of sharing quick pan of the room, just showing that I now have like a functioning space. Things still need to be detail cleaned. I still keep forgetting to take that purple tape off my wall. A lot of times if I have too much tape or I can use it again, I stick it to the wall until it's done. I forgot to pull it off. So this was when I was like, yep, I'm ready. Time to pull out creating with collections and get back into that. I have one layout finished and I'm getting ready to work on another one today. As always, I thank you guys for spending time with me, and I hope you find this motivating.